What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over all the best site setups for Clubhouse to help you win more ranked games and just get an overall better understanding of the game. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below what maps you want to see site setups for next. So the first site that we're going to do CC and cache. So first thing, we want to put head holes here, reinforce this wall and have a rotate. This is so you can have somebody playing red stairs. This wall protects them from here. You can contest from here or here, so you don't just have the one angle that you're going to get pre-fired off of. And any like late round rotations, then you can use that right there. This is pretty easy. Most teams know this. Then we're going to come over here, reinforce this wall. So if they want to get a long angle from master, for example, then they're going to have to waste utility to open that up, or they're just going to completely ignore it and you're going to be safe from that angle. Then this wall reinforced. This is just so that they don't have as easy access into con, and again, if they want to open the wall, they're going to have to waste some utility. And then you want to put feet holes all the way across this logi wall. So if you have somebody playing in con, you can challenge anybody who drops the hatch. Then you're going to want to put some C4 holes here and here, so that you can like C4 over here to deny the default plant, or you can hop up here and contest the breach through these holes. It's just an extra point that the attackers have to do. Then you want to shoot this radio. Nobody needs to be listening to that. Obviously, you're going to reinforce the main breach. Self-explanatory. You don't want to give them direct access to site. Now, this wall here is a really important wall to reinforce, because if you reinforce this one instead, when the breach gets opened, the attackers can see all of this part of rafters, which is going to make it a lot more difficult for your rafters player to actually move freely. So to make rafters as easy to hold as possible, you want to reinforce this wall. And a lot of teams put a rotate here, which isn't wrong exactly, but head holes are better, because you can still challenge like this, and you can come here and still challenge the window. But if anybody manages to flush you out of rafters, then they can't just walk into site and plant there. They actually have to like open the wall or jump through the window, which is going to make it easier for your team to deny that. And then you want to reinforce all 4 of these walls down here, because this is going to make it very easy for you to play rafters, because you're not going to get any of these angles open up, or your rotate here cut off. And of course, if they do go for that, you would probably have an Azami here, and you can just place an Azami here to block off that, so that you can still rotate freely. So this one is kind of default. This is what everyone goes to first. It's what everybody knows. So it's really simple. So now we're going to go ahead and go to gym. Okay, now that we're in gym, you're going to want to make a rotate here. This is so that you can easily rotate between the sites without exposing yourself to the windows here. Shoot this radio. Then you're going to want to reinforce this wall, and that's so if anybody is playing on this roof right here, they don't get long angles into master and all the way through to gold. Then you want to put feet holes here, so if they manage to get into gym late round, you've got feet holes so you can contest. Makes it a lot more defender sided. Then we're going to come over here. This, pretty default, reinforce the walls so they don't get into the building. Then you're going to want to reinforce this wall to give your bathroom player some protection. And you want to make a rotate. And the reason you want to make a rotate is because, say you have a bandit playing here, and then they get the wall open, you can't manage to trick it, you don't want to have to run all the way around here. So this is just a quicker way, and then you can play here and contest the breach from there, obviously. Then this gold rotate, a lot of people reinforce one of those walls, but the reason you don't is because the rotate position's actually really important. It needs to go in the middle of the wall, because if it's too far to the right, you can actually be seen there from the gym window, and if it's too far left, you can be seen from master window. So you want to try and put this right in the middle of the wall so that you're completely safe from those windows. Then you're going to want to put a rotate close on this left side so that you're protected from this window here and you can vault through. And then also that means any attackers pushing from cache, they kind of have to worry about this and they can't just vault straight on in. This wall is not really that important of a reinforcement. I know a lot of teams do reinforce it, but it's not really necessary, especially for the next part of the setup. And you're going to want to reinforce this because obviously it's an outside wall. You don't want them coming straight into the building from the outside. Now, this part of the setup is where a lot of you are going to maybe get a bit confused because you've not seen it before. I would not recommend doing this in solo queue, but if you have a stack and you learn this, it's going to be a lot better than your default ranked setups. So you want to actually make a rotate into cache. So, because you're going to have a player playing this, holding this down. And then this wall gets reinforced, and the reason for that is because you're not really going to be holding rafters at all. And when they come up, you don't want them to have that angle that you have when you're holding rafters defending CC, where they can hold all of this, because you're going to have one player playing here contesting the breach, and you don't want them to have to worry about this angle as well. Then, obviously, reinforce these two walls, outside walls, don't want them getting in. And that also means if they decide not to push this, that means that you're free to contest highway without having to watch your back. And then double reinforce these walls here so that your player in cache can play more safely. And then you also want to put a rotate on this wall so that you can extend out, contest anything here, and also extend and play red if there's anybody pushing down there, like that guy. So this one might take a little bit of getting used to, but once you learn how to play it, you're going to win so many more rounds. So now we're going to head down to the basement. Okay, now that we're down in the basement, this one's also going to be a little bit different to what you're used to seeing in ranked, but it is 100% better, especially if you have a stack. So you want to triple reinforce this church walls here. A lot of teams like to put head holes here, but you really don't need that, because all that that's going to do is make it so that the attackers can challenge the site from here and they're completely safe. All they have to do is like play here and they're completely safe. They're not exposed to this, they're not exposed to anything down there, and they can challenge that. So you don't want to do that. You want to triple reinforce, and then you can put some holes up at the top, so when they are playing down here at the bottom of the stairs, you can throw C4s or smokes over there, get some free kills. Then you want to make this rotate here. You want to make it quite tall, because that allows you to jump up on this table and challenge anybody that's walking down blue. And then you want to also reinforce this wall, so if the triple wall gets opened, anybody playing here can hide behind it, and they also can't get wall banged from anybody that drops moto hatch. This rotate just makes it really easy for you to get between sites. And you want to reinforce this wall, so if they push down oil pit, they can't wall bang this. Then we're gonna go over here. This is probably the most different part of the setup that you probably aren't used to seeing, but you want to put a rotate far side here, and you want to make like a big sort of head hole rotate thing here. That's so you can contest the hatch, and it makes it really difficult for them to drop, because you can play far back here and you can see them as soon as they drop. You can challenge the hatch from there. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You could play like here. You just get a lot of different angles from having this open. And then this rotate, if anybody like Buck or Ash manages to open this wall here and run deep, then you can play here. and you can kind of cut that angle off for them. And then a lot of people put feet holes here, which is perfectly fine, but another thing that you can do is put head holes, and then that means that if anybody manages to run down these stairs and get into this spot, because they're safe with this triple wall, they might hop on their drone here, and then you can just C4 over there, get some free kills again. And then your last reinforcements, want to go here in dirt. Pretty self-explanatory. You want to prevent them from coming in here, and if they do, waste utility. And then the last 3 reinforcements, you want to reinforce kitchen hatch, lounge hatch, and the moto hatch. That's obviously just to waste their utility, stop them from getting, especially on kitchen hatch, some really powerful angles. And that's why you want to have this, so you can contest where they're not really going to be able to see as much, and you can see them drop. Makes it really difficult for them to push those default pushes from the hatch. So that's everything for the basement. Now we're going to head over to the last site, which is bar. Now that we've come down to bar, I left this one till last because it's probably the one that you're least familiar with. First thing you want to do, shoot the jukebox. Nobody needs to be hearing that. So you want to reinforce this right wall, which is really important, because if they manage to take control of stock, then they get all of these angles from the wall, which makes it very unsafe. So you want to reinforce the right wall, and then feet holes on the left and head holes all across this wall, and that is so that we can actually contest it very safely from here. We can contest it there, or from this double door. That's really safe, they can contest it, and it's going to waste a lot of time if they're trying to push that. Then we're going to come over here. We're actually going to extend into strip. We're going to put a rotate here, reinforce these 2 walls, so they obviously have to waste utility if they want to open, and then feet holes all the way across here so that we can contest anybody that wants to push that. And then this rotate makes it really easy for us to play here, and then contest over here, anybody pushing in there, and then we also have a really easy fallback so that we are pretty safe for the most part. Then you want to reinforce this right hand bar wall, and that's so if they take control of kitchen, you can play safely behind there, and you don't have to worry about getting wall banged. You can play really safely right here. And believe it or not, that's actually all the setup that we're going to be doing in bar, because this is actually one of the few sites in the game where you can have nobody on site, you have everyone upstairs, and you can still win it really easily. So a lot of the setup is upstairs, and luckily for you, a lot of it is the exact same as when you're defending gym. So you want to reinforce these 2 walls, this wall, but rotate here, so bandit trick or anything, you can jump back. These walls also, that just tells you if they want to take top floor control, because they're probably going to open this. So if they do want to take top floor, you're going to want to waste a lot of time and then fall back, and if they don't take top floor, you just hold on to it, because you can deny every single plant from up here. And then this rotate, same as before, so you can fall back. This is all the same as before. Rotate here, so you can rotate close without getting seen from the windows. Reinforce this, so you can't be seen from here all the way deep in sight, and gold. Feet holes to make it defender sighted when they jump in. You can also put a rotate here, just for a little bit of more movement. Then, same as before again, rotate in the middle so that you're not exposed to this window or this window. This is the same as before, little rotate here, reinforce this, and reinforce this. You can also open up this hatch. You could have some holes there, that gives you an angle into this door and anybody close in stock. And then you would also likely want to open up this hatch to contest anybody pushing this window, anyone that manages to get in. And it also just gives your player playing here a little bit more support, and you get some nice angles. So you can actually deny every single plant in gym from up here. You'll need to learn the vert for it, obviously, for some of them. But if you can learn that, you can literally have all 5 of your players playing upstairs, gym, bedroom, con, nobody in sight, and they're still not going to win, because it's a really, really powerful setup that we have up top. So that's going to be it for all of the setups. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe, and also make sure to turn notifications on. Leave a comment down below what site setups you want to see next. And yep, that's it. I hope you enjoyed.